Right, take that down a bit. I have my piece of rosewood ready to be thicknessed for the bridge. I've got a reference surface on this side which I've sanded down. As always with sanding, I've managed to just slightly round over the corners, but that doesn't matter. The rest of it is absolutely flat. I used my glass plate to do it. Now I've just done a video on veneering, and I did think I could just cut down the middle because we only want 6mm of this, and this is 12mm. But I think the usefulness of any veneer I take off the top will probably be somewhat limited, and hey, I've got my StewMac Safe-T-Planer, I want to use it. Now, sorry for the noise. Now if you've seen my StewMac video on this very device, you will not have seen this thing here. Now I built this on the advice of the instructions that come with the Safe-T-Planer. A little bit of aluminium, a bit of bent angle rod, and a bearing here, ball race, whatever you call it, and all screwed together. And it just provides a little bit of downward force, just keeps the work flat against the surface, stops any juddering. Great idea. But the genius part of it, which is on StewMac's suggestion, is this bearing is angled inwards. I've just twisted the rod a little bit. And what that does is it also pushes it against the fence as you're feeding the work in. Talking of which, the secret I've found to getting a nice smooth finish on this is to keep constant pressure on. So I will be pushing with my stomach. It's handy for some things, I guess. And just keeping the work moving constantly through it until it's out the other side. I've rehearsed this a few times. So in we go, get your stomach ready, push against the work, and through we go. We've just got to set the height. Now in that StewMac video, you will see my genius little mod to the drill press. Normally, these two nuts would be above this, and they'd be just there so that they can lock together and provide a depth stop. But what I've done is I've taken one of the nuts and put it underneath, so I can lower this and then lock it in place with those two nuts either side of the support. So I've got to get this the right height by raising that nut up. Not quite there. No, nearly. No, not quite. It's deceptive. It's there we go. So that's just touching the edge of the bit. So that will do. I'm going to lock that down with the nut on top. I think hand tight is fine. So we're all ready to go, and that's just going to take the top off this piece, and we'll just take it down a millimetre at a time maybe until we get the thickness that we need. Noisy Dyson. Yeah, that's smooth. Actually, it's only taken this wasn't a completely flat surface, so actually part of it has not been touched. It was really just flattening it, just taking a whisker off. So I'm not even going to measure that, because if I measure it there, it's still going to be 12.5 as I measured it before. The problem I've got here is I've gaffer taped the. I want to hoover all of this dust out. It's best to keep the dust away from the feed, because obviously the dust's going to raise the level of the work. So I've got everything gaffer taped together. I need two hoovers. It's not really pulling any of the dust away. I don't know whether I'd be better with the vacuum back here, maybe. That's a possibility. But then I won't be able to feed it. Oh well, we'll keep going like this. Maybe I just need to get a brush and brush all this up each time. Right, I'm going to lower this by a full turn. Knock that off. Easier to see what I'm doing at the top here. So that should have taken it down by about 1 millimetre. So I'll take it through again and we'll see how much we've taken off. Right, lesson learned. We can't take, on rosewood, we can't take more than 1 millimetre off at a time. That was too much. This isn't a powerful pillar drill, and it's just the band had started slipping. Lovely. So we've got to, how do I do this? I take that one. I'm just going to rotate the bottom one half a turn downwards, which raises it up, and we'll take this back the way through, and okay, we'll be left with an uneven surface, but yeah. Right, let's try that again. Anybody want any rosewood shavings? Wow. Yeah, there's something to note. It has actually stripped a fibre off the edge. It's pretty square, but yeah, we clearly can't take much off at a time. Rosewood clearly is a very hard wood, obviously. Well, obviously if you've got any knowledge of why we use rosewood in guitar building. So I've taken about 1 millimetre off. So yeah, so I've just got to do that another 6 times. Right, let's hoover all this muck up. So this time I'm just going to give it half a turn. And of course I've got to adjust the height of this now. So we, oh hang on no, we take that down. Yeah, that's about right. Tighten that up. Actually, that's right. We've got to raise it. Oh. that's about right. Yeah, a little bit of chatter, so just turn that a little bit so it's not twisted quite so much. Yeah. Okay, ready to go again. Again, we've got fibre taken off the edge. It's quite warm. That's now down to 10.8. So I think, oh, it's not completely even actually. There's a bit of a variation of about 0.2 of a millimetre. For whatever reason, but it seems nice, seems a fairly flat surface. Okay, I think I don't think this is tight enough. We're getting, the belt's quite warm. Okay. There's a little bit of rubber. Don't think the belt's particularly happy about this. I don't think this is the best of pillar drills to be doing this with, but let's try that now. Right. You can't see this on camera, but just around the back here, it's binding against the top of the fence, sorry, which is not what we wanted really. I think what's happening is some little chips of rosewood are getting in between the fence and the cutout in, or rather the cutout in the fence and the bit, and jamming it. I think we'll just try and finish this because I'm going to have to raise this to fix it, I think. As long as I've got everything cleared out of here, I'm probably okay. Let's just see if we can get to a point where we can finish this off. Yeah, it's jammed again. There's a shaving in here. This is a nuisance. I might just get my chisel in there, but it means raising the bit out of the way. Now the great thing about having two nuts on here, and I've just moved the top one, oh well, is I can now take this down and we tighten that one back up again, and that is now back where it was, although I did knock the top one a little bit. So let's take the top one back half a turn and lock the bottom off. And in theory, that's taken us down. Actually, that seems to have taken us down a lot more. That was subtle. Let's just take it down half a notch. And go Go again. Still taking bits off the edge. Actually, they're not off the edge, it's just that it's not... Yeah. Right. It's not going down below the level of we're planing to. Yep, we need to take another 3mm off. Let's keep going. These, oh no, I was going to say these are incredibly strong, but they will break. But they are very strong, these fibres. Immensely so, actually. That is actually a very smooth finish. You can see the tool marks, but I'm really rather impressed with this. We're getting a nice slim profile. Let's see how we're going. Yep, we're now down to 8.5, so we've got 2mm to go. Right, let's take that down a bit. Maybe too much. Can't be much more than 6mm. I was taking quite a lot off there. Half a turn of this seems to be, oh no, there we go, 6.9, 6.7. Ooh, dare I go through again? I think I'm going to go through once more and try to take just a whisker off. So yeah, let's see if I can adjust this down very precisely. I'm just going to give it just the vaguest of turns. It's not even that's a sixth of a turn. Hex nut. 1/6 of a turn. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Doesn't seem to be touching. I'll try pushing that through and see what happens, because in theory I have taken it down. I'm thinking that on the previous pass I might have had something underneath the board which is pushing it up, possibly. Let's just see what happens if I take that through. Okay. Let's go down another 1/6. Here. Just felt like that had gone down a bit too far. Right, okay, I'm just gonna, there we go. Just trying to be subtle here. .8, 6.7 that end, 6.8 that end. 6.5. Ooh, right. Ooh, I'm now at 6.5. Ah, okay. This table isn't level. Ooh, it's giving me a different thickness at either end. But what that means is I've just got to turn this round and we're there. Okay. Let's try putting this through two different ways. 6.5, 6.6, 6.7, 6.6. We're there. You can see the tool marks, but it's quite smooth. I'm really pleased with that.